Welcome, Bloomington High School students. I just wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how to read a coordinate sheet on the actual paper, and then how to find those dots on the actual field. This is just going to come right before I give you an actual tutorial on the actual field, but I figured it would be helpful to talk about this in terms of it being a coordinate sheet. So hopefully if you've taken a math class before, you would be familiar with plotting points using information on an x-axis and a y-axis, okay? And finding a coordinate used to create the animations in your drill is just like that, right? So you're going to be given a set of information that requires you to know your x-axis, and this one that will give you your y-axis, okay? And it's just going to number the sets, which is this first column. So what page you're going to be in, or what set, what dot it is, right? How many counts it's going to be to move from one dot to the next. And then you're literally just going to set it up and just go from dot to dot, okay? And that's really going to be as simple as it gets. So I wanted to show you a couple. So I picked some here at the bottom. The only thing I don't like about this coordinate sheet as we're going through it is that it says it has north and south. You'll oftentimes see this as side 1 and side 2, or left, right on your coordinate sheet. You will almost never see south, north. Okay, I pulled a random one off of Google. So instead I've labeled on my field that this will be the south side and this will be the north side. Okay, on our field, we'll usually refer to this side, the south side, but in this case, this would be side 1, which is just the left side, okay, from the director's viewpoint. So if the director's at the front of the field, okay, this would be side 1 on the left, and then side 2 would be on the right, okay, or this would it might say right on your coordinate sheet, and this might say left on your coordinate sheet. I just want to make you familiar with that. Then you have a couple more pieces of information, right? So on your x-axis, you've got each of the yard lines, so 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And it says either inside or outside. You'll see like a bunch of insides or outsides. All that's going to say is that inside is always towards the 50. So if I'm on this side, inside's always towards the 50. Vice versa, if I'm on this side, inside always towards the 50. And then outside is always away from the 50. So if I'm 4 steps outside the 40, I know to go away from the 50. Okay, this little nice thing that I've got here, it details, you can see kind of in faint lines, each of these little lines is a step. It measures a step. So usually we use 8 to 5 steps. You've hopefully seen the video on step size, and we know that that's a pretty standard step size. So this little faint line here is 4, because obviously that's halfway in between 0 steps and then 8 steps. Okay, so then when I see something like, let's look at the third to last dot. Okay, so 4 steps inside this south 45-yard line. Well, we know that the south side, or side 1, is going to be on this side. So I'm finding the 45-yard line on that side of the field, okay, which is this puppy right here. And I know I'm going to go inside, which is towards the 50. So I'm going 4 steps inside, which is this little faint line right here. Okay, and then I know that my y-axis information, I know I'm going to be 8 steps behind the front sideline. Okay. Well, I know that the 2 sidelines are the back sideline here at the very back of the field, and then the front sideline here at the very front of the field. And then I also have these 2 little things. These are the hashes, the front hash because it's towards the front, and the back hash because it's towards the back. Okay? And these are these little horizontal lines on each of the yard lines. That's the hashes, the back hash and the front hash. Okay? Well, I know that I'm on 4 steps inside the 45, and I know I'm 8 steps behind the front sideline. Excuse me. So I know that this front sideline, I'm going to be 8 steps behind it. So I'm going to go with my little horizontal lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember that on our field, you'll see this. We have these little dots that are going to be they're purple dots, and they're going to tell you this sort of thing from the yard line. They'll have every 4, 8, 12, 16. You'll see this on Bloomington, and I'll point it out in the next video. Okay, so you will have a little bit of this coordinate sheet almost kind of set up for you on the Bloomington field, which is kind of nice. So you'll go, you know that this is 8 steps behind, and this is 4 steps inside the 45. So I plotted this little dot. Let's look at the next one, okay? This is set 26 I'm looking at, 2 steps inside the south 45-yard line and 6 steps behind the front sideline. So now instead of 4 steps inside, I'm only 2 steps inside. And instead of 8 steps behind, I'm only 6 steps behind. So again, I've plotted this one already. I know that I'm going to be 4, 5, 6 steps behind, and I'm going to be 2 steps inside. 1, 2. And inside's always towards the 50. Okay? So I'm moving from this dot to this dot. How many counts will that take? I know I'm going to use 12 counts to get to that dot, because this is always how many counts to get to the dot. If you ever get confused, you'll always see the top one is 0. It takes 0 counts to get to that dot. So it takes 12 counts to get to that dot. Okay? And I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to be using a straight line path to get from dot A to dot B. and I'm going to develop equally over time. So I'm not going to just get there in 4 counts and then wait for 8 unless told otherwise. I'm usually going to develop that using all 12 counts in equal size steps. So those would be pretty small steps. Let's look at the last dot. On the south 40-yard line and on the front sideline. So on the front sideline, super easy. We're literally just going to be on the front sideline. And then on the south 40, well, that's really easy. Find the south side of the field, which in this case is side 1 or the left side. Okay, and find the 40-yard line. Boop, on the front sideline, right there. So then again, we're going to march from wherever we were just at to where we're going. Okay, and that one is going to be 24 counts. So I would use 24 counts to get from this dot to this dot, which means halfway, like ish, I would be 12 counts. Half of that I would be 6 counts in. Half of that I'd be 3 counts in, and that helps me develop it evenly. I'm just thinking about breaking those down so that I can develop the move evenly over time, and I've obviously now found where my last 3 dots are on the field. Hopefully this was helpful. The next video will set us up on the actual field and give you much of the same information. Thanks so much.